Welcome back to the Not Quite Pod. Today we've got Benny with us. Benny, do you just quickly want to introduce yourself and let everyone know a bit about yourself?
What's going on, bro? My name is Bizzie. I'm a singer, rapper, mentor actually, recently over the last 2 years. We've helped musicians, Ivor's Academy, Universal, also an ambassador as well for like disabled artists and just artists in general, with the FAC and the Next Stage Attitudes is Everything. So, and then now also I'm a producer, producing for Sync and my own stuff as well, which I didn't always do. So yeah, you can see where the name comes from. Like, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Definitely. I mean, we were just chatting before we started recording. You've been a very chaotic day, so I'm grateful that you're here.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all love. It's all love. Not Quite podcast. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Where does the love of music come from? Obviously, a lot of your stuff stems from music. Where does that love come from?
Love for music. Do you know what? Takes me back to Nigeria, actually, man. Just like growing up around. So my dad and just family in general, man, they love to party, man. They love to party. Like, I just remember being a little kid, like back in Niger, and it's like that. Just people just come round and just the music. But we're talking Afro music. But at that point, I wasn't into music. I was just around it. So like subconsciously, I'm just taking it all in. But then in Tottenham, which is where for me, that's where it began. For me, that's like, just like in London, Tottenham, just like friends, school, TV, like just taking in like pop music, R&B music, church music as well, because my parents were heavily involved in the church. And then, funny enough, it's like out of everything, the one that I navigate to, we're talking garage music, we're talking Oxide Neutrino, we're talking Pay As You Go, So Solid Crew. Like, that's the stuff that really got my interest out of like jazz and R&B and soul. So that stuff had me like, that stuff was addictive. I feel like that spoke to me differently. That's the stuff that made me kind of like get up and was like, you know what? I ain't doing science. I ain't doing maths, man. Here's my maths book. Let me write some bars, like, you know, like that's the stuff that I brought out the beast. But yeah, heavily inspired as well by jazz and R&B. Though loved R&B music badly. So I kind of was stuck in two minds. It's like, oh man, there's this soft and vulnerable music, and then there's this hard like street, like it's like, where do you go? So I kind of had to be like almost like an alter ego, kind of like, was it? I don't know if it's this way or the other way around, but it was like grime artists by day and then R&B by night, that kind of thing. You can't let the gangsters into the Sweet Boy tune, so it was like a bit of...
But then again, that's what you see with all like good artists now. They just flick between the genres they work in. They don't tend to stay in one, because I think I'd imagine as a creative person myself, not in music, but if you stay on one genre, it gets boring because you want to do something different.
And that's the thing about us humans. We love to evolve, man. We love after a while there will be a time where you've hit that threshold and something new needs to be birthed. Something new, it needs to get more interesting. There's something about humans, like life needs to get a bit more interesting. I want to try this. I want to travel. Something needs to change. Even with jobs, then you're like, oh, I've been here for 10 years. It's like you need that. So yeah, I think so you're right, man. Like nowadays, there's a lot of cross-genre fusion of genres. You know, like to be honest with you, I don't know when last I did a song that was just one genre in the last 3 years. To be honest, man, they've all had like my R&B music would have elements of Afro or trap music. You know, so it's like you know, so yeah, it's all changing. But
it's really tricky. And then you say about garage. You don't see garage as much now, and I miss it, man. I really miss it.
Funny you say that, because recently I've been listening to like Heartless Crew and So Solid. I've been watching the videos, because funny enough, I had like memory. It's like I went down memory lane and I started remembering the videos. Now I said to you, I was watching this on TV, so like the videos, and they had like, I don't know, man. The videos were sick, man. Like it was interesting. Like So Solid, 21 Seconds. They was all in the cage. It was mad. It was like a rumble, but they were performing. And then there was another song. I don't know what exact track it is, but then it's like, I think there was like CCTV cameras. They were jumping on roofs, jumping on lorries, and I'm like, it was just so captivating. So it's like I've been watching that recently and just reconnecting a bit, man. But Yeah, which is giving you a bit of a hint because there might be some grime or some garage coming up in my new project, because I'm there. But yeah.
It's funny though, even like as a more of a consumer when it comes to music, like you go through like phases. Like one phase I'll be like really into grime, next it's like
Drill.
smooth soul, then it's flipping like 70s club classics, and you're like,
I think that's cool.
what the hell? But then that's music.
I think that's cool.
Like there's music speaks to different. Also, there's music for any time of your life. Like if you're stressed, there's a music for that. If you're chill, there's music for that. Like there's music everywhere.
That's true.
And like I'm purely a consumer, but I have so much love for anyone that creates music because I have not got the vocals, man. I have not got the vocals.
Do you know what though? Even speaking on that, like it's quite. I think people don't say this often, but music is quite a spiritual practice. Like energetically, like what you're doing, what you're expelling, like to create that energetically from inward, from internally, like, and that's like everything. That's like mind, body, soul, like memories, like it's quite visceral. It's quite spiritual. I think people don't talk about it a lot. So yeah, it's supposed to be hard to do. Do you know what I mean? Because do you know what I mean? Because you got to draw from real lived experiences and feelings. Like man, nice. It's a big deal, man. I think it doesn't get credited or valued enough, man, especially in this era of like Spotify and everyone's just streaming and no one's really paying nothing. Like it's just free. Like it's just pretty much like, the value's lost, man. Like and that's something that like that's something that makes me quite sad, man. I just feel like the value of the art is gone, man. Like it's I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I think it's just dying, man. It's dying.
I think as well, like, I mean, I'm looking at this as an outsider looking in, but I would also, what I'm seeing is a lot of artists feel a pressure of like constantly producing, because you're seeing artists that are now more known for their TikTok, but then they're having to produce new music like every week just to keep up.
That's mad, man. Because back then you had like it was an honor to get one track like in 3 months from an artist, but now you're getting like one every week. Like, come on, man. It used to be special. Like when you would wait for it, and you're like, yes, an Eminem album, yes, a Jay-Z album, yes, another Soul Solid banger, like another Cray David, yes. Like you're excited. You're like, Lamar, Jamelia. You're like, yes, they got a new. But the distance that you had to wait, it made you like value it more. But now it's like, gosh, man, it's different.
It's hard as well.
Different times, man.
I think as well, we're seeing a big change of like people now wanting to produce a lot of their stuff on social media to get more value. I mean, you've seen an artist like Connor Price come out and say that he's fully independent, and that means that he gets more kickback from the social media platform. So more artists are trying to emulate that. But then, as I say, I just get worried about this like burnout. It's just crazy.
I don't know if it's sustainable. But I don't know, man. I feel one thing I always say actually a lot is that the power is always in our hands. Like I won't forget when we was little kids just like running around of like pirate stations. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we was trying to create something or trying to get our stuff on Channel U. Like it's like we were the makers, we were the originators of those experiences. And I feel like now it's just we've got different tools. The tools are TikTok, phones, whatever. But but it's like now we got to find a way to use it to work for us. Because right now it feels a bit backwards. It almost feels like the algorithms dictating what we do with our art. That's crazy. That's mad. Like if I was a painter in my basement, I feel like someone's come into my yard while I'm making my art. I've got my palettes, I've got everything going on, I'm working. I feel like someone's come and literally dictated and told me what to do with my art. If that really happened, I'll get the fuck out. What are you doing in my yard, cuz? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what right do you like? Do you know what I mean? But I feel now it's just open door policy, man. Like people are just coming in dictating, man. Release this many songs. This is how much you pay. 1 million streams, you get 1,000. I don't know. Like it's just why am I hustling to get 1 million streams? What is that?
But you say that, and that also links into just outside of music. You see that with other content creators. Like, we're all forced to jump on trends because otherwise the social media platform just kill your content. You might have the most impactful message to give someone, but because the social media platform doesn't value it, it won't push it to it.
Yeah, and you are right. Yeah, you are right. It is literally the platforms deciding your reach, who that's even reaching. You don't even get a choice if it's the right people that are relevant to the brand and the content. It's just, you know, it's mad.
What I hate is looking at the back end and looking and going, right, so I've got around about 8,000 followers. Great, happy days. But then my content only gets shown to 250 of my own followers.
That's mad.
And you're like,
That's mad.
What?
That's mad. Yeah, but back to my point about just innovating and thinking, we just got to think out the box and just think, how can we use these tools strategically and in a way that is sustainable to benefit us, the creators, the artists, the content makers. Yeah.
100%. On that note of like seeing the social media market change and the music market change, how have you seen the genres that you've worked in change over time? So like R&B, how have you seen that change? How have you seen grime change? How has it all developed? I mean, you've been in it for 20 years.
I mean, I've seen grime develop into drill now, and I've seen less of grime, but it's funny, the pioneers of it are still around and they're doing sick, and I'm not surprised, because back to my point, they were the originators. So from the beginning, they've been thinking, how can I make this work to benefit me, like, so I can keep doing this, so it's sustainable, and for my fans as well, so that they can enjoy this thing that we're doing together. Not that middleman algorithm that's trying to, you know what I mean, all those corps that are trying to twang you lots, you know. So so the originators, like your JMEs, your Skeptors, like your Dizzy Rascal. I see Dizzy Rascal doing a lot at the moment, actually. New album, he's out and about and he's doing it and he's making it work for his business, you know. Skeppy's doing the festival coming up soon. Yeah, Daneo's also doing something. Yeah, so everyone's trying to. So I think that's sick. Drill, it went into drill, and I feel for a minute though, I did think when grime started to, when drill kind of came, I thought, like, is this the end of grime? I was a bit like, I don't know. Like, I fuck with drill, but so I'm kind of glad that drill's in his own little box, and grime is still doing its thing. So that's my 2 cents on that. And I love the fact that even now, like my new project, I've kind of also gone back as well to do a bit of grime as well. So there's a few grime bits on there. And then R&B, I feel like in the UK, man, come on, man, I could name 5 R&B artists from when I grew up. But now, and it's taken like that long, we're talking 20 years or what, to get to a point where I feel the UK is now valuing R&B to an extent. Yeah, and I just hope that just continues, because I think it could do big things in the UK, man. DJ S is the one DJ I know that's always pioneered R&B, like really he's really pushing for it. So I really hope it goes to the heights that, you know, he envisions. And
yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever I think of R&B, it always, again, like I say, comes back to that. I think of early 2000s garage meets that's where I go back to. To be honest, I'll be honest, I hold my hands up, but I'm more well versed in the rap grime space than I am R&B. So I have to hold my hands up there and go, R&B, I wouldn't be able to tell you that much new R&B. But then also, I feel like, as we were speaking about before we started recording, that it's not necessarily like there's clear-cut genres anymore. Right. Artists are really blending it all together. So you can't... I might think, that's not R&B. And you'll come up to me and be like, that is R&B. And I'm like,
Do you know what, I feel like... So you said old school garage. And if you think about Miss Dynamite and them lot, even tunes like Sweet Like Chocolate, all them, like, with... Because that's R&B. Yeah. Those are R&B vocals, like, on... maybe just more old school garagey beats or whatever. But then it's also then, when you think about Funky House came out, I don't know if you were into that Funky House era, the vocals on that, man, In the Morning, that's Egypt. Like, all them, those are R&B melodies as well, and the way it's sung. So R&B is kind of, I don't know, it's like it's been trying to live through like other genres.
Yeah,
It's been trying to cut through like in different ways, and like, you know, and I've played a part in that, man. I was the chorus guy for a lot of artists, man. For like a good 5 years, I was on choruses with like Getz, Wretch, Scorcher, Bizzie, Wow, Z Dot, Prince Rapid. Oh man, just loads of grime artists as well. So then exactly, that's another place where it tried to cut through and R&B vocals on grime. But now there's a lot of R&B. If you think about Stormzy's got the track with is it Ray? Yeah, he's got the track with Ray.
Yeah.
There's Bella. There's Tamara. There's a lot of R&B now, man. There's Angel. There's Shaka. And a lot of A-list artists do feature them and work together with them. And if you think Chipmunk as well, he's had Chris Brown on record, so they've also brought in American. So yeah, it's working hard, man. I mean, mate, it's working hard. Like, and I feel we're getting to a point where we're starting to see the fruits of that labor. So yeah, man, that's my 2 cents, man.
That's fair enough. I mean, as I say, it's that whole thing of people don't see all the work that goes into the background and all the hard work and hustle that goes into it. But on like that topic of hustle, because I was watching an interview with you before earlier this week, and you touched on hustle culture and that impact on mental health. What's been what you've seen in the music industry around hustle culture? I mean, we briefly mentioned, like, obviously the younger artists on social media feel that they need to constantly be pushing out content. What's your 2 cents on how the hustle culture has impacted the music industry, and also the impact that has on artists' mental health because of the constant pushing?
Well, I'll talk on the mental health and the burnout first, because that's from personal experience, because I experienced burnout. And in fact, I released bloody 2 EPs called Burnout Volume 1 and 2 off of the back of the real experience of like raw, like just trying. I mean, I had songs of everybody. I was on TV, I was on radio, like our press, everything. Like, and it's like, at what point do you see the reward of all that effort, man, all that grind? You know, at what point does, you know, I think the first time I got a bit of recognition was when Urban Music Awards nominated me for Best Male Artist and Best R&B. And even that, I was shocked. I was like, raw. So there is someone out there watching, you know, like, but you know, but yeah, man, like, it is quite hard. And also, I think at the point when I burnt out as well, I wouldn't say I was the most knowledgeable on the business side of things, and I wouldn't say I had people around me that could. There wasn't conversations about well-being, welfare, or balance, or you know, or even financial like literacy and the rest of it. You know, you're just like autopilot. You're just going. It's just full speed ahead. Like, you don't even know that you haven't eaten. You don't know that you're in debt. You don't even stop to process that stuff. You know. There's no spending time for yourself. Yeah, like, you don't even see yourself as like human, like you matter. Like, it becomes this autonomic thing. It's just like, just drive, innit? Overdrive. But yeah, I burnt out, had my first seizure or blackout, and then that was it. Once I had that was like, mate, I was like, ooh, okay, it can get like that. It can get like that. I'm about to lose the thing that I love so much and I'm pushing so hard for. I was like, nah. I took a break. But then I really made time for like understanding like what is going on, who am I, what am I doing, you know, where are the people in my life that I love, where are my relationships, where are, you know, like, yeah, just like, what am I trying to do long run, you know. I had to really just stop. So I think my luck, so in a way it's like, yeah, sick, not nice that happened, but I think my lucky stars that I actually did get that pause, that someone put the brakes on, because if they didn't, if that didn't happen, and I'd done another 5 years stint of that push, I don't know what might have happened. So, do you know what I mean? Then on in terms of today and the youngers that are trying to do it, it's mad, because I guess now it's like you get a choice. It's like, how do you want to play the game? If you're a sick content creator and you want to go the TikTok viral trend route, mate, churn them out. 3 posts a day, stories, reels, every platform, schedule it, whatever. Use the tools. Go hard if you want to play that game. But even on the back of that, it's still based on what I've just said. It's like, are you thinking mental health? Are you thinking well-being? Are you thinking about you're sustaining this, or is this I'm gonna get there and then I'm not even well enough to enjoy it when I get it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
No?
It's a dangerous game, I think, because like because even myself, you sit there and you think, okay, I really want this, so I'm going to keep pushing and pushing. But then on the flip side, you know you should look after yourself.
Yeah.
But then there's this other little voice that, like, if you take 5 minutes to yourself, it's like, but you stopped, and the other person didn't stop.
Yeah.
Get on with
I'm not
it.
gonna lie to you.
And that's the little voice that's horrible. And then, as you say, then a negative thing happens to you, whether it's the seizures, whether it's panic attacks, whatever it might be, and it teaches you a valuable lesson to then take a step back and go, all right, that was shit, and I never want to experience that again. But at least now I know what that side of the line means.
Yeah.
And that's the really tricky bit.
Yeah. Do you still get those thoughts? Like the guilt?
Yeah, the guilt is a big one. Big one
that's
for me.
mad.
Like if I take, to give you like a real world example, if I take 5 minutes to sit and, take an hour to sit and play FIFA, in the back of my head, I've got, you should be editing this, you should be working on this, you should be sending those emails, you should be speaking to this person, that person, because you're not where you want to be, and the only way you get there is to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And that still happens to me now, and I don't know how to fix it, because on the one hand, you've got a lot of people creating content and creating stuff around better managing your time and looking after your mental health, but then you still have got the true entrepreneurial old school spirit of like, if you're not working at 4 a.m., what are you doing? And that's really tricky.
Mad. Yeah, it is mad. It's almost like I picture like a computer that's got a program in, and you can't knock it. Like it's there. Like it's a condition, and it's mad. Because it's funny because we're two people who have seen the better end of burnout, but they're still getting that imposter syndrome, that guilt, you know. Should I be looking after myself, even though we've been hurt by it? That's bad.
Yeah.
It's almost like the universe is going, when are you gonna learn? You know better.
Yeah. I think, do you know what I think it is? I think there's an element of you're trying to almost find, and this is terrible to admit, but I think you're trying to find the line. So where is the line? And then stay as close to that line as you can.
It's just one of those things, man. It's one of those things, man. But I definitely, like I say, I advocate on a few boards now as well, because and I'm big on mental health now. Especially for the mandem, because we have this automatic programming as men, which is like, you know, never sleep, never cry, never moan, never complain. Just, you know, never ending nevers. The never ending nevers. Just get on with it. So now I'm just so I mean, I grind. I mean, like I spoke to you earlier, like I'm busy, but don't get it twisted. I've had a nap today for like 30 minutes, and that 30-minute nap has done a lot for me, because then, you know, now I've got the boost. And if that wasn't a nap for you, that might have been the 30 minutes on a PS or an hour. And that input of joy, of bliss, of a bit of calm, of a bit of escape is then what fuels me to then, right, let's do some content. Let's record a tune. Let's make a beat, you know? Let's network. You know? So, I mean, work in progress, you know? It is what it is.
Yeah. That's the thing, you can't nail it every day of the week. Everyone sort of sees it and thinks, like Charlie and Benny have got like the perfect situation. We've got it nailed down. No. I'm still trying to figure it out.
You see, sometimes for me, I'll do the drill. Like I'll do the full 24 hours, as in I ain't stopping, because I want that thing done. And I can get quite militant like that. And then once it's done though, then I'm like, I'm out for a walk, I'm going by the water, I'm getting a Turkish. I'm just like resting, because no guilt, because I've done that drill, and you can't even do that drill. You ain't built like me. So it's like, it's give and take. Like you say, man, no 2 days the same. No 2 days the same, man. Yeah.
100%. I also read, doing some research on you, I found out that you also dabble with a bit of meditation. What's that been like?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I do. You know, you're thinking, how did you know that? Do you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. That's something I actually do every day. Now, I can't go a day without it. But it kind of makes sense, because you know, you get people going, I can't go a day without praying to God. you know, or I can't go a day without whatever. So I think in this life, I think everybody finds, I'm big on self-leadership. I'm big on like, don't wait for other people to come and design the tools and the metrics that will help your life like thrive. Like you do you get up and try some stuff and figure out what works. And what I've tried, and out of a platter of things I've tried, walking, that's for me. Meditation, that's for me. You know, certain other things, I tried it, not really. The gym, nah. Running, now and again, you know. But meditation, walking, get on my yoga mat, all that stuff, I'm good with that, man. Even journaling, yeah, man. And just like water as well, just water, just making sure I'm hydrated often, you know. And I like going, and I like fun, and I like, funny enough, I'm talking water and drinking, but I also like just being around bodies of water. So like by the lake, river, whatever, I just go stand and I just lean and I just stay there and I'm just there with it. And it just does something. It's weird. I can't really explain it, but it does something, like, you know. And it's funny because our bodies are 80% water anyway. So I think there must be a bit. There must be a bit of a dance between water in our body and water in the sea, or you know, whatever. So I think that just does a bit of cleansing as well. So yeah, and this is just what I found works for me, man. Yeah.
What type of like meditation are you doing? Because I think one of the things I always talk about is like, I think everyone sees meditation as like sitting there and doing the classic noise, and like that's not. If you actually sit and do some research, there's so many types.
Do you know what's funny?
Meditation.
Yeah? I'm weird, because I don't know what I'm doing. So people have seen me in the studio, and they see me like take off my trainers and I'll get in like a yoga pose and I might sit like, and I'm doing these things, I'm just pushing in my hands, but you know what it is? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I've never read a book on it. I ain't watched no one, I ain't been taught, I ain't been to no class. Do you know what I mean? But I do know that when I sit there and I'm just gentle and calm, it's the rare time in the day, that 24 hours of constant rush and busyness, that my mind just gets to stop. And that's all I see it as. It's just a pause. It's just a stop for my mind, man. Because it's so busy. Yeah. So it's just a stop. And I don't chant nothing. I don't remember. I don't know no chants. Like I say, I don't know nothing about it. I just say I'm doing yoga, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sitting. And then time passes. And then I'm just, but then I watch my breathing though. That is one thing I'll do. Like I would, breathe in, maybe hold it for 4, and then like breathe out for longer, because I've heard that might work, and I might just try it. And do you know what? But I'm very good at just like experimenting. I'm very good at just experimenting. Even working out, like I don't go gym, but I'll get on the floor and I'll do stuff. I just kind of listen, like, what does my body want? Like, and where is it stiff? Where can I, loosen it up a bit? Like, and what kind of thing works for me? And I'm very big on what kind of thing works for me, because somebody else's strategy is for them. And they might teach it to you, but take what works. You can't, we're not like mirrors of each other, man. Like, we're not, man. Like, and that's the same way, like, even I might give advice on, like, I've given people advice on music, like, how to, navigate the industry and stuff. But it's like, just because that works for me, that don't mean it's going to work for you. We're in a total different era. When I started, it was Channel U, and it was Pirate Station, Heat FM, and Deja Vu, and all that stuff. Now you're starting, it's TikTok and Snapchat, and do you know what I mean? Like, it's algorithm and it's Chat GTP. Like, it's a different ball game. So, mate, figure out what works for you, man. But listen to my story and see if there is one or two things that you might want to pick from there, or that might resonate. But that's it. And that's my approach, man. Like, we can't do this copycat thing, man. It don't work.
No, I hear you. I mean, I always think, like, I don't actively advertise it as meditating, but I think, like, for me, my version of that is, like, having spent so long in my early teens swimming.
Yeah.
That motion is like autopilot for me. So I can completely just sink into that, and I'll not realise that the time's passed because my body just knows what rhythm to do. So I'm actually running through loads of little things that I need to run through my head. And then I come out and I'm like, oh God, that was so much better, because I haven't got the stupid distraction of like my phone, emails, fucking everything going on. Actually, I then come out and go, actually, I know what I'm doing now because I've spent that time just filtering through. And I think that's my but I call it like active meditation because I'm like, what? I don't know what the fuck to call it. I'm going to call it that.
That's cool though, but then that's your thing. That's your thing. You know what's funny? If you gave me that as a strategy, do you know what I would do in the water if I was in a pool? I ain't swimming.
Go on.
I ain't swimming. Mate, every time I've gone to a pool, yeah, I've just held my nose and I've just sunk down to the bottom and I've just sat down and I've tried to see how long can I just stay down there for.
Yeah. I've been there.
Been there. To 30 and I just sit still. Like, that's it. I don't do no.
Yeah.
I don't know what. No, stop it. Like, I just sit. I just enjoy the coolness and then I get out.
Love that. But I say it's like different things work for different people, and I think as well, as you say, there's like a big stereotype of like men looking after themselves is still seen as like this thing of like, oh, you're a pretty boy, and it's like, no, I'm just trying to be a better me. I'm not like, I still don't get how we're still in this point of life where it's like the whole it's a manly thing or it's a feminine thing. It's like, if it works for you, crack on, bro.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on that, man. Don't even get me started on that, man.
Go on.
But all I can say is I have tried. Like, I've tried to like chat to other men, other men, innit? Like, just other men them, like, on, like, you know, you thought about therapy, you thought about, you know, like, just switching this up, or, mate, it's long. You see, when the programming is so ingrained and it's so at the core of you, and we're talking from the ages of, like, 2 to 7, like, mate, try and get that out. You can't rewire. It's not easy, man. Like, it's not easy. I think there is an element of people do have to get to it at their own time and at their own choosing, you know, when it's right, and just hoping that it's not at an unfortunate event like it's happened, for example, for myself, or, you know, yeah, man.
It's really tricky because you you want to help someone get there quicker or avoid the problem that you run into, but you kind of like, you need them to run into the problem to realize the problem. Unfortunately, yeah. It's almost like they got to burn themselves, and then that's what it was trying to tell me. I've seen it myself, but you didn't have to go to. It's cool. We can't save. Do you know what? That's something I had to learn, you know, the hard way. Like, you can't. I thought, you can't save everybody, man. You can't. That's something I had to learn, because I growing up, I was a big, like, I've got this protector thingy. I don't know what this protector thing. Like, if I can help everybody, I would, basically. Like, I've got this thing, but I've had to learn, you know, the hard way. Like, 1, you can't help everybody, and 2, it's not your bloody job, man. Also, like, you'll end up wasting a lot of your energy, and it's like that whole analogy of like, you got to fill your bucket before you can help someone else.
Yeah. But it's funny, we're saying this, and in my head, there's a part of me going, nah, I'll do it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm definitely one of those people that do as I say, not as I do. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what? Because we are what we are, man. We are, man. I can't change it. It is what it is, man. But I can't. Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good, man. Yeah, I'm just
switching subjects completely. One thing I wanted to speak to you about, which we briefly touched on before we started recording, is your sensory processing disorder and how that like impacts you performing, producing music. Because like, there's a lot of sensory information that goes on in those spaces.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is a lot. It's funny, man, because I feel like I must have known, like, you see, when I was like 13, 14 and I gave myself the name Benny Bizzie, I must have known that something was different about me in the way that I processed just the world and stuff. Like, I must have known. Because I think that's where the name came from. But at the time, I didn't know that it was anything to do with that. I just thought it was, I like to spit bars at 140 BPM and like Benny Bizzie, like always on the move. Like, but really, I think there was a lot more to it. So anyway, with the sensory processing disorder, so that's to do with like being sensitive. It's to do with sensitivity. And that's a byproduct of like, so that's basically the manifestation of the things that's happened, the traumas that I've seen and the stresses that I've seen growing up and as a child, like, which it's a lot and I wouldn't go into, but basically it's a byproduct of that, and that's how that's manifested itself. So so it's like everyday things like bright lights. I mean, I've been on video shoots where like you know, we're out and it's a sunny day and, you know, they're filming, they got the drone and everything and, you know, I'm having a full blown seizure or like blackout and they capture everything on camera and I'm just like seizing and stuff like convulsions and my heart's just like, you know, convulsing. And that's just because of the light. It's the sensitivity. So day to day, man, like I don't really, me and lights aren't friends, man. Like flickering lights, glares, bright light. My phone, it's always like dimmed in my yard. Right now, I'm kind of in the dark to an extent. You know, I mean, I kind of done this because I put the blind now because I wanted to get a bit of a warmer look on the camera, but I would have had it up opened a bit. But yeah, it's to do with like just light, sound, smell. And then shows as well. Shows is the maddest one because how do you tell the venue, like, how do you tell them to stop the 500 spotlights and the one bright one that's in your face as your center stage? Like, it's mad. So, funny enough, I've been picking some interesting venues on purpose, like, which I'll just... So lately, like, I've been doing shows at the Kindred London, Private Members Club, like, Pizza Express. I've been doing certain shows which are like, it's just warmer, it's nicer, man. It's just more like, it's just cozier, man. So I've been picking venues like that. But I don't know. I don't think that would change. I don't think venues. I mean, I think that, you know, I just have to. I've got my coping, you know, strategies and stuff, and I do what I do. I've got my shades. I've got my noise cancellation headphones. I've got my loop earplugs. I've got stuff that helps, you know, just to negate that. But it is tricky, man. It is tricky. I can't lie. There's a lot of soothing things that I do day to day that people won't really be aware of, like just to get through. Especially studio sessions as well, where you don't really want to bring it up and they're trying to be in there for like 12 hours and the music never stops and it's loud and, you know, like, and these ones, you know, people are smoking and 20 million spotlights on the ceiling plus every light, you know, you're just there, like, so it's like, and you want the session to flow, so you're just masking and you're, you know, braving it and you're just getting through it. So sometimes I can just do that, but then it means at the end of the day, flat out. I need a dark room, I need lots of water. I just need to get myself back to me, basically. But then you do get some sessions where I think maybe because now people are a bit more comfortable talking about stuff, I might bring it up, and then we might take a break, we might dim the lights, it's actually been cool, some sessions recently, they've seen certain interviews I've done, so people have asked me and they've been like, oh yeah, I know you, you know, so yeah, we can dim the light, we can make it blue, we can make it red, and I'm like, oh right, oh sick, I appreciate that. So it's tricky, but it's not. I'm on my road to recovery. I understand it better. And that's another thing. It was worse when I didn't understand it. Because when you don't understand what's going on, you don't know what treatment or how to... Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't know you have a bleed in your leg, like, how do you know to get a bandage and to, you know, clean and all? You don't know. But when you know, then you're like, okay, right, I just have to get some blackout curtains, change this, change that, you know, ear defenders. You know, go for a walk, take a break, then you start managing and coping and even breathing and meditation. So that's why I do it every day, because it really just helps to just calm the whole system down, man. I feel like it's like a computer, you know, it's like a motherboard that's overheating. And all I gotta do is just cool that system down, cool it down, man, you know. Yeah. But funny enough, I think things are changing a lot, especially barbershops and train stations. I've seen a lot of places now which they've got diffusers on the light, so there's no more flickering or glare. There's a lot of that going on now that I'm seeing, especially barbershops. I'm shocked. I'm like, raw, man, who gave you the memo? Like, how did you know? Like, you know. So I've been going to a lot of places recently, man, just like diffused lights and dimmable, and like it's just a bit warmer, man. More, it's less intense. The attack is.
I think what about, like, because I'm thinking, obviously being very involved in the music space, you've clearly got friends that are also in that space, so then that makes it really tricky because I'd imagine you want to go support them, but then also heading into a venue where the lights are fucking chaos, and you don't know what you're walking into.
I mean, I do. Funny enough, I do go. I haven't in the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, but I do actually go to a lot of people's gigs, man. But what I do is I just prep. Like, I'll have a good amount of rest and like prep before I go, so that my energy is like up. And it doesn't help as well that I'm an early bird. Like I'm up at like 5:30 every day, even if I sleep at 2. Like I can't help it. It's just the way. Yeah, I'm just programmed like that.
Yeah.
I'm just programmed like that. And when I'm up at 5:30, my energy is like 100. I could go hunting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it doesn't help because then I'm trying to go to a gig in the evening, but then I've used up all that energy by the time I then need to go. So yeah, man. Like, yeah, we live.
I mean, it's that whole thing of learn and adapt. Like you say, you just put systems in place. But then I think that's the power of not necessarily getting a diagnosis, but it's just the power of knowledge and knowing what's going on. Because then you know where to look. It's like this is where I get really, because there's a big conversation around labels at the moment. But then there's another part of that conversation that without labels, people don't know where to look.
Yeah.
So if you take my condition for example, if someone didn't call it cerebral palsy, what the fuck are you going to Google if you're not sure what you got?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you would Google. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll just be lost.
This is the part of the argument where I'm like, I completely get over labeling, but then labels have its place.
Yeah, that is interesting because even when I joined Attitude Is Everything, Rich Legate brought me on, and I'm on there with a few other people. But it's like, yeah, I remember when I first linked up with them, but I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to be called disabled just because I've got a long-term condition or whatever. I don't really like the label, but you do make a good point, man. It is true. Like it's like. Yeah, it's mad. Because as well, even with the gigs and stuff, like if the promoter don't know through that label, how do they put those things in place? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate the label. I hate the label thing. But
no, I hate the label.
Yeah.
But then also, everything is a label. Like, if we call a water bottle, what else are you going to call it if you don't call it a water bottle?
Yeah. You're right. That's probably just me, and I've probably just got some faulty thinking that I just need to sort, to be honest.
Oh, no, bro.
Because it's not that deep. Because really, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. Because not everybody presents the same. And, mate, if your past history and your lived experiences has brought you to this point that this is how you experience life, mate, that's your fucking experience. You can't run from it. You can't run from it.
Yeah.
Like, I live this every day. Yeah.
100%. It's a really tricky one because I understand both sides of it. But I wanted to swing back because obviously you mentioned that you're working a lot with young people at the moment. So I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give young people? And tacked on to that question, I also, to illustrate to other younger artists maybe and younger people entering the space, what's been your hardest point in the industry and what's been your biggest highlight?
I think my hardest point was leaving it, man, in 2013-14 when I had when that pause, when someone hit those brakes, man, in the harshest way possible, man. Because that started a whole new journey of like MRI scans and EEGs and neurologists and ophthalmologists and hearing specialists and therapists and CBT and EMDR and Jesus Christ, man, talk about labels. You know what I mean? That's like, that was a good 5 years of like trying to figure out what the hell was going on, man. And let's not even talk about the medication and them just not knowing. So they're just trying everything until, you then get to, right, this is what it is, I think that was probably the harshest point because all that time I just thought, rah, man. At the back of my head, I just kept going, are you done? Is that could this do you know what I mean? Is this it? Are you done? Creative. Do we just put the lid on creativity as an entity, as a force, as energy? Do we just put a lid on that, park it, and let's go do normal, man?
Yeah, it's like, what do you do next?
Yeah, let's go do normal. Let's work and do normal, whatever that looks like. Let's park it. And I think that was probably, I'm not gonna lie, man. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of sadness. There was a lot of man, just falling into that hole. One, I didn't get to choose the childhood. I didn't get to choose. You don't get to choose that. It just is. And I had to come to great acceptance of that, you know. But it's like, right, so what? Now that that's the reality, that's happened, that's your experience, those are the cards you were dealt. Now what? Like, is it? Do we just sit there floating, and now what? Or do we take some actions and some steps and try to create some possibilities and options, and then pick a lane or fight through it, cut through it, you know? And that's that humanism, that's that resilience that we have, you know? That's why we're both sitting here, and, you know, we can talk about this, like, from a place of wisdom, understanding, and, you know, from a different perspective, and with a hope of, like, you know, moving forward, you know?
100%.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that was my low blow, man. And in terms of my highlights. I don't think it'll be anything recent, unfortunately, man, because I feel like recently, like as of now, I mean, since 2019 when I came back into music, it's been me just still recovering, fixing myself, rewriting that script, but then also obviously trying to create this new, like, find out what I want to do in terms of my art, my music, based on everything that I've done in the past. And I've been trying to forge that, and that started off as R&B, a bit of Afro, all that stuff, and just seeing where we are today and trying to use the tools and all that stuff. And now, you know, as of today, like I've got a project already that's coming out later this year. I think it might be my birthday, right around September, end of the year. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, so like it's quite cool to have done all that work from 2019 to now, done all that recovery, finished therapy, finished all that stuff. Now it's like I'm left with the fruits of all that work. So it's like I've got the projects ready. I'm also in a place where, like, I've got the self-management tool, the self-care and the well-being practices that keep me, you know, that allow me to thrive and to rewrite the script. And now, right, what do we want to build? Like, what kind of life do we want to build? How do we want to use these tools? That's where I'm at, you know. But in terms of my highlights, it would have to be when I started, man, because you see my energy. See that energy. Oh, see that little youth, yeah? See that little youth that was like, that kid, man, that, like, you see, I look back just to get, like, a bit of boost of energy. Like, I'll just go back to my memory lane, like, where I'm thinking, rah, like, Benny, like, you're nuts. You was jumping out the window, like, because obviously my dad was quite strict, innit? So we had to jump out the window, jump on the thing, get out, go to the radio station, go and perform, do my whatever, my set with my crew, because I was with a collective called LOH. Me and my boy Gemini, RB, LO. Yeah, we was just go on radio, do bare tunes, find a way to make money, release mixtapes, try and get it on Channel U. Like, that kind of energy was mad. Like, I was collaborating with, like, it was mad. Like, sometimes when I think about it, it just looks like a movie, because I'm thinking, what were you doing? Who was holding the control pad that was controlling that kid? Because I don't know how you knew how to do what you were doing. That's crazy, you know. But yeah, that's my highlight, man. And then the successes, man, in terms of, like, gaining radio play, like I said, and getting played on Channel U and being featured, just working, collaborating with a lot of people, the releases. It was just nice, man. Like, it was cool, man. For a young kid, I think why I touch on that is because for me, like, when I think about where I come from, that's a big deal, man. To be on, like, TV for 9 months, to be played on Kiss and One Extra for that was mad, man. That was like raw, like, it was like a dream, like, you know. I'd go to uni and people were just like, oh, I saw you on TV yesterday. Oh, I saw you on... Like, do you know what I mean? In school, you was like, it's like, that does something. It gives you a different kind of boost, man. It gives you a different kind of, like, motivation. Like, yeah.
It almost as well, like, even from me, like, it confirms what you're doing. I think that's the weird thing. And everyone sees that as, like, I'm not saying that, obviously... I think the whole thing of reframing success is a big thing, but I think that reconfirming to maybe someone who wasn't keen on what you were doing, have that moment of, oh shit, you are doing something that's actually quite cool, or helping people, or inspiring someone. That's the bit where you go, oh shit, yeah, like, I'm doing the right thing. It's like me with the social media thing. My favorite thing is getting a message from young people that have got the same condition as me, or parents that have got a child with the same condition as me, and going, you've actually really helped open the door of like, oh shit, all this stuff is possible.
Right.
I didn't think it was. That's the bit where I go, oh shit, yeah, I'm doing something good.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with you getting on TV and getting on radio. It's that whole thing of like confirms.
Yeah.
Because it like reconfirms that like imposter syndrome in your head, because you've got that little voice going, you're shit, you're terrible. And and then it goes, actually, no, you're not shit and you're not terrible. But you will be tomorrow.
You're right. It is definitely confirmation, man. It is definitely confirmation. Because sometimes, I remember sometimes I'll be like, oh, you know what, yeah? See what, God, yeah? You know what? If you don't want me to do this music thing, yeah, I'll park it in, you know? I'll park it in. I'm cool. I'm cool with not being good, yeah? So I could let me just go make some money, travel, eat some Turkish every day and just enjoy my life, you know? But then you get the placement on TV and you're like, damn it, that means I am good. Then you get the radio play, it's like, Then you get the nomination for the awards and you're like, oh, okay, I'm staying, God, like, I'll keep doing this, you know? So yeah, it's quite cool, man.
Yeah. So what would, on that note, like going through your struggles and your successes, what advice would you give to a young artist?
Do you know what? Oh, I'm not wearing it. I had a t-shirt, yeah. And I've always had just my BB logo on my merch. But the first time I wanted to do something different, it took me a long time, but only one word. I've done one that says remembering. So if I had any advice for any young buck coming, it's I want them to. It's just they need to keep doing. And I don't know if there must be some science to this, yeah. But I find that I have to keep remembering. It almost seems like I'm playing a game, and the villain, his main goal is to make me forget. It's to make me forget that I'm that guy, that I'm resilient. It's to make me forget that I'm good enough. Like, it's to make me forget that people around me love me and want me to keep that. And there is people that I can turn to. It's like it makes me forget, like. And then I get, you know, even when I'm stuck on my phone, like, and I'm just like scrolling, or whatever, it's like, then it keeps you in that loop, and then you forgot that you're supposed to be, you know what I mean? Maybe calling my goddaughter, chilling in my bedrooms, looking after my place, and it's like, it makes you, there's something that's trying to make me forget, and then I've got that thing that says remember, because it's like, I feel like that's been my secret, like, just remembering, man. Because when I first started my journey to healing, I used to walk a lot, and I think that was around COVID. 2019, yeah. That's when I got back to music. I used to go for walks a lot. And when I used to walk for no reason. I just used to walk, like hour, I'll just walk. But then it's like, it got to a point where the walks then started becoming like, I don't know, man, just like rememberings. I started remembering like good things that's happened in my life. And then that will give me a little bit of a smile, give me a bit of a hope, give me a bit of a boost. Do you know what I mean? It'll make me feel a bit better. So it's like, why did I forget? Because that fucking boss wanted me to forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
have to keep remembering, man. Even recently, like some of my self-care strategies, like sometimes I'm very like consistent. Like I can do my daily things that help me and keep me like on 100. But then I'll have a month where like I'm just shit for the whole month. I did nothing. Didn't work out, didn't yoga, didn't journal, didn't meditate, didn't do nothing. Didn't call no one to like connect. Nothing. Just locked away, just stuck, because I forgot that I'm supposed to be doing that. So basically, the baddie won, the villain won. So then something will happen. Like either I don't know, something will happen, and then I'll snap out of it, and then I'll start remembering, and then I'll start doing all the right things, and then my energy starts coming back, and then my light, my love, like my looseness, my flexibility, like my creativity starts coming back, and then I remember. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'd say like just try not to forget, man. Try not to forget, because I feel like the way the world is built, man, I feel like all these systems, social media, it really will try and make you forget, man. Especially when you start comparing yourself to like what other people are, how other people are living their careers or their lives or whatever, when actually you're only seeing it from one little perspective, which is the highlights, literally. And that is a very tiny perspective. Like the conversation we've had today, like there's a lot of people, even family and friends, who they'll be like, "Right, I didn't even know that about Benny," because all people ever see and will see is just that little perspective, man. That's it, that little dot. Yeah. And they will literally judge and create their thingy of you from that.
Yeah, no, it's like that whole thing of like invisible PR, like the whole thing of every interaction you have with anyone can impact the way that people see you, and it's the same with social media. The way that presents you is the idea that everyone has of you, and that's a really hard thing to marry up with your psyche. And I think the other thing, like obviously we're in very, 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 very different spaces, but I always think the other thing to look at as anyone that's a young creative in whatever industry, also look back at how far you've come. Because that's one thing that I've been trying to do more recently, because I keep going like, I want to be here. Why am I not here? And then I look back and go, if you said to me 4 years ago I'd be doing the shit now, not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, I like when you say look back at how far you've come, because that's like remember how far you've come. Remember, like, you know. Yeah, don't forget, man. Yeah. That's my advice, man. Don't forget, man. Even when you signed that deal, when you got 30, 50, whatever racks in your account, like, don't forget, man. Don't forget where you, like, just don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget all the other things that make you amazing. Because you get one little win and then you start thinking that's you. Mate, come on, man. Look at all the stuff that was before that, man. Look at your resilience, your strength. Look at your ability to, like, maneuver and, like, yeah, man, strategize and the rest of it, man. Yeah,
100%. And just as our last question, which I ask every guest, which is a bit of a switcheroo, but we're going to ask the question anyway, which is, what's one piece of politically correctness that you really strongly agree with or disagree with?
Definitely got to be disagree, because I disagree with a lot of things, man. I don't know, man. Probably just that things have to, like, it just has to be one, like, I don't know, I just feel like perspectives and ideas get pushed in people's, like, psyches, and, like, people then think that's the thing, that's what you're supposed to be looking at, that's how things should be. And I just feel like, come on, man, like, where's your own, like, self like where is your curiosity? Like, where is your own, like, I've seen that, but what about, where's that bit that goes, what about, or that goes, why? I feel like we just get served like things, and we just
don't question it.
Yeah, like, we just grab it, man. Like, we're just like, that's it. Like, it's like, what? But it don't have to be, but it could be. Do you know what I mean? I think that's where I'm at, man. I'm like,
yeah. I hear you. What would be an example? I'm just thinking for anyone that's not. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But what would be an example of, like, a topic where you're like, why are we looking at this one way rather than questioning how else we could look at it?
Do you know what? Let's even do, like, gigs. Let's do, like, live events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Like, if I feel like there's almost a sense, that only the normal people will do this festival or this event. Like, all normal people will do the lineup. They can't be a disabled artist that comes and does a set amongst your typical lineup. Like, why can't it be 3 rappers, 1 R&B singer, 1 disabled artist? Why can't they stand in the same space? I think that's something that recently has been kind of like why can't we all just be in the same space? I think that's been in my head a lot. And maybe that has come from the fact that I've spent the last 10 years or so working with special needs young people with autism and ADHD and Down syndrome and cerebral palsy and the rest of it. And I'm like, but we have so much fun, like your creativity and your high functioning and your ability to, like, see the world differently, like, it's so cool. Like, why? I don't get it. Like, why is that an issue? Like,
I hear you. It's like that argument that the discussion I always have and think about is the whole coming from a disability and, like, sport background. It's like, I question. It's hard because I understand why we've got the Paralympics and why we've got the standard Olympics. But then I question, why can't it just be the Olympics and they have their bespoke races within that umbrella? rather than a separate entity.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm either not cool with the separateness of it, like the division. I think maybe I'm just like, it don't need to be like that, man. Because I feel like, I don't know, it almost kind of alienates disabled people, man. I think I don't like that, man. Because I've had a lot of fun, man. I've had a lot of fun being around, like, working with disabled people in the last 10 years, man. Like, I feel like they've even kind of changed me in a way, like, you know, because they've made me see, like, I don't know, man, I just see them. I'm not gonna lie, I worked with, for 2 years, I worked with cerebral palsy young people, man, on wheelchairs, man. And some of them had, like, augmented devices to help them talk or, like, blink to, like, make movement to, like, communicate. But it's like, do you know what it is, Charlie? You see the smile on their faces when I go in. And I'm thinking, but you're the one that ain't got it easy. Why are you so happy?
Yeah.
Like, how are you so happy, man?
Yeah.
It does something to me, man. I'm just like, them people that got it, they got so much. Everything's going well, body, limbs, everything's functioning. You're rich, you got cars, you got all that, and you're moaning. Like, you're pissed off. You're moaning about the dumbest thing. And then I'm sitting there with people who are, like, going through some real shit. And they're here giving me joy. Like, they're happy. They're like, thank you. They're grateful. They're like, give me more. They're like, give me consistency. They're, like, just so full of it. Like, I'm like, rah, man, that humanness. Like, it's different. So I'm like, so if that can exist there, why can't that exist on stage in a music setting or, like, in a music thing?
Yeah.
Like, where we're all just, like, gassed about, I don't know, man. But maybe I'm just, I don't know, man. Seeing things a bit.
It's because it's not seen as, like, socially acceptable. Not even socially acceptable. It's like, it's when you see organisations try and represent disabled people, a lot of them lean into one or two groups and they don't represent everyone. Yeah. So then it's like if you've got these conditions, you're trendy. But if you've not got these ones, you're not trendy. And I think as well, like, on your point of, like, the happiness when it comes to someone in a situation, it's also, like, perspective of, like, for someone like me, I can only speak from my experience. It's like, I've grown up disabled, so I don't know fucking any different. So, like, everyone's like, what's it like to walk? And I'm like, what's it like to be in a wheelchair? And I'm like, I don't know, what's it like to walk? I ain't got a fucking clue. I've got no point of reference. So, like, my shit is good shit because I've got no other reference of
I see what you mean. Still, I see what you mean. Yeah, but still, man. Maybe the point is just a bit of kindness and acceptance.
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Not Quite Podcast. Please make sure you follow us on TikTok and Instagram to get regular updates about the podcast.